Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the LMS Summer Split Week 7 Day 3 action coming at you right now. First series of the game is going to be Fireball versus YE Spider. An interesting matchup here. Fireball, of course, unfortunately for themselves, unable to pick up a series win so far. YE Spider hanging around that bottom to middle tier of the split at the moment, so they're looking to climb their way on up. They should be able to pick up this game, but they really need to make sure they do. It's an important one for them. For the side of Fireball, these games where it's realistic that they might be able to win aren't going to come too often, so they really want to capitalize on it. We're going to see which of these teams are able to pull out the W today. As we take a look at the bans coming from these teams, it's going to be the Galio Rek'Sai taken away on the side of the Spiders. So interesting switch up of priorities of bans here. Usually you see the more kind of second rotation power pick-ish bans coming from the blue side, and then those two staple bans of Caitlyn and Zac on the red side, but we've actually switched it up here. The Caitlyn and Zac bans are on the side of Fireball, and of course, Fireball actually picked the Caitlyn up quite a bit because teams give it over, and they're actually winless on it so far this split, which is why maybe they don't want to even first pick it. So they're going to ban that away as well as the Zac. It's kind of unfortunate to see Fireball doing that because it's going to open up a lot of powerful picks on the side of the Spiders, I have a feeling. It will be the first pick Callista, though, for the side of Fireball, so looking to get ends on that really good laning champion. Hopefully looking to pair that up with a decent support as well. The response from the Spiders is going to be a Spider, ironically enough. Elise picked up for Epic in the jungle there, and Kay is going to be on that Thresh looking to make plays. Already so much pick potential just from the first two picks of the Spiders. Yeah, telegraphing their team count just a little bit. Almost would like to see Tom Kench picked up from the side of Fireball, but they're going to go with the Callista Braum lane, which is a powerful lane in itself. Thresh is pretty good into Braum, though, so we'll see how that matchup ends up playing out. Cuckoo is going to go ahead and lock in that Gragas for Woolala in the jungle. Very high-tier jungler for a lot of these teams. A lot of them usually prioritize it just under the Elise. Obviously, Zac pretty much permaban, so not going to see that, especially in patch 7.13. The tank meta not quite hitting yet, even though there are still tank picks like Gragas, as you can see. He's just powerful overall, especially because he's flexible. He can go either the Cinderhawk or the Runic Echoes, depending on what you need. It will be the Tristana locked in last here for the side of the Spiders. They got their bot lane and jungler locked in. It's the Thresh, Tristana lane, a little bit of early pressure, a little bit of scaling as well. So they're looking to try to cover all bases. Base I believe. Not really, don't look that up. As we enter the second ban phase, top laners so far under fire. Rumble taken off the board. Camille as well. So Ninuo and Nexus getting their champion pools targeted a little bit here. It seems to be a very carry-centric ban phase so far, so they want to take each other off the carry picks. Of course, it was actually the Camille ban second, which is usually picked into the Rumble, interestingly enough. But either way, they're just getting rid of all the top lane carry picks that they can. They do not want anybody winning that matchup. It's actually going to be the Taliyah ban for Fireball, so they want to make sure they don't give that powerful mid lane pick over to Wako. Want to make sure that they can't have even more playmaking potential. Looks like it's going to be even more engaged, though, from the side of the Spiders, hovering that Jarvan. We'll see if they go ahead and lock that one in. Still got the mid laner and top from Fireball yet to be locked in. Interested to see what they go with. They already got two pretty tanky members, so I'm curious if they want Ninuo onto a carry in that top lane. You still got things like Gnar and Fiora possibly available. Orianna was hovered for the Spiders. They were thinking about that, but they go back to the Jarvan, and now Fireball maybe thinking of taking over that pick. That will land them with a lot of actually wombo combo. With the Fate's Call, they got two good ball delivery systems, and they will lock that win in, so making sense there, but that's going to mean the Spiders get the counter pick in the mid lane, and looking to bring actually even more tankiness in the top. They decide that they have enough damage, they're going to look more for a beefy team comp fight. And it's going to be the Azir hover. We saw Maple actually play the Azir recently. Putting it to good use. He was actually able to shove in pretty well. He got caught out. I believe it was picked in the Orion as well, so maybe a bit of a soft counter. These Taiwanese teams like picking that one up. They will switch over to the Corki. They're just trolling us, though. The more standard pick into that matchup. We've seen that matchup quite recently, actually. Just yesterday, I believe we saw that one. I believe it went the way a little bit of Orianna. Of course, Corki able to push in somewhat early. It's basically just a wave clear matchup in the end of the day. There's not much solo kill potential. But you have two pretty good ganking junglers like this, especially Elise. does offer a little bit. That's why you're going to see the cleanse on the side of Cuckoo. He does not want to get locked up and camped in that mid lane, so he's going to bring that Summoner Spellscarf for himself. Got the Shen Global coming in as well, so we might actually see a lot of focus on this top side, even though it's 2 tanks. Might just see this mid lane. If I were to throw a prediction out, this mid lane's probably going to end up mostly just being a little bit of a farm off, and maybe Corki looking to roam once he gets the package. Maybe Orianna looking to walk in with the jungler and look to make a pick with the ult. But overall, I think most of the pressure is going to be on the bot side or the top, especially for the side of the Spiders. As the team comps are locked in, coaches shake hands, and we will go ahead and jump into this game. Don't want to go too far here. Looks like this is the earliest we can get, actually. It was a bit of a delay. As we can see, the pause was a little bit later on, so here we are, minute into this one. Got a little bit of loss there. We're finding our way. As you can see, the mastery is on your screen, actually. Pretty standard across the board. Don't see anything interesting. I do see Kalista taking Bloodlust, which I have seen a little bit, actually, on a few Kalistas. Usually tells me they are a bit scared of taking too much damage in the laning phase. Usually you would see that Fervor, but the crit also going to be built. It's going to help with the sustain. When you think you might be taking a little bit too much damage, of course, it's going to make you less damage in the extended team fights, but it's going to make you even better laner, actually, because you're going to be able to sustain up just that little bit more. Doran's Blade start from the Kalista, so she definitely wants to look to take over this lane. It's going to be 2 ranged against 2 melees, but if Kalista and Braum can play it right, they should have a pretty good advantage. So you can see pretty standard start coming out of the junglers. Wulala going to go more of the solo queue oriented start. Actually, both of them starting blue buff, interestingly enough. Whether that means they want to try to throw the other one a curveball, we'll find out soon enough. And as I mentioned, this top lane matchup, Jarvan will have the push advantage for the first little while. Shen does have the option to go into that early Tiamat to turn that one around and create a bit of pressure of his own. A lot of CC on both sides, actually, in this bottom lane, especially when that Kalista hits 6. You might look for Wulala to make a roam down there, a little bit of a visit. There's a lot of teams, especially obviously on the competitive side, mentioned that when you pick that Kalista, a lot of the Kalista pick is actually, yes, she does get a little bit of advantage in the laning phase, but a big part of it is when you hit that ult, you really want to start playing around it, even start to work into the enemy jungle a bit, and take advantage of the fact that you have so much extra utility. Mid lane matchup, as we mentioned, is going to be pretty much a farm fest. Shouldn't see too big of an advantage pulled from either side unless we see a little bit of a misplay coming. Wacko deciding to take that TP, which I like on the Corkies. Pretty much everybody's starting to pick that one up after, especially after MSI, the Chinese team showing that off so well. Just opens up even more of a option in the later game. Maybe things aren't going as you planned, or maybe you get even more of a lead and you want to split push pressure. Helps out a lot in that regard. Thresh lands in a nice hook. Skull gonna throw up the Unbreakable just to make sure he's okay. They're actually going in on this one. Spiders realize that something's going on when they drop the Unbreakable and still go aggressive, and they were right. Wulala was hanging around that bottom side. He's looking to take early advantage, trying to snowball this lane even harder. And as you can see in the top lane, Nexus there pushing in on that Jarvan. Shen's just going to do his best to farm it up for now. He should be fine. Jarvan doesn't really have any sort of kill pressure early on. Epic on this Elise is under a bit of pressure to make things happen in the early game. If he is able to do that, though, they will be able to snowball this quite well with the double 80 carry. And he's getting caught out, though. The collapse comes onto him, repel away. He's going to flash onto the lantern, and he will escape. A little bit of an epic escape there. This, hook does land on the Skull. He's going to be just fine, though. They don't want to follow up on that one, so Epic forced to use his flash early on. Not quite respect the collapse coming in there. His team wasn't quite close enough to back him up, so he's going to pay for it with a summoner. Going to hurt him a little bit, but he should be just fine. I would like to see at some point here Epic pay a little bit of attention to this top lane. If you can shut down the Shen, it really stops. Especially, you can definitely imagine a play where the Stand United comes down and it's just a full-on engage with the Fate's Call on the bot side. So the Spiders are going to have to be cautious of that, but if they can put enough pressure onto the Shen top lane, they can almost play freely on that bot side, as long as they keep tabs on the Gragas. Get a little bit of a pause coming through here, as we were alluded to earlier. We're going to go ahead and skip it with the magic of VODs. We should be into this one right here. We go. Just under 5 minutes into this game. One slightly aggressive move coming from the side of Fireball. No kills as of yet, just a little bit of a CS lead for the moment. Going to be mostly attributed to that top side. Nino doing a good job on that Shen. Shen's actually relatively easy to farm with, especially under tower. He's got a pretty decent auto attack going for himself, and of course the Q is going to make it that much easier. Epic going to be picking up this Scuttle Crab and placing a deep ward as the other one was about to die. Nino is going to channel the recall. He's pushed that lane up. He doesn't feel too safe. He's going to be happy with buying that Bomby Cinder. Going to help with the wave clear, so he's going the more defensive route, but it still does help him a bit with the wave clear, especially when you're going up against an AD lane. It feels really nice. As we can see, this botched lane, as expected, pushing in for the side of the Kalista. That does open up an opportunity for some ganks if they want them. Hook is just going to go short onto ends. He felt the wind on that one on his back there. He's going to be just fine, though. A little bit of bad. It is a bit of a volatile lane, honestly, and the Tristana is a good pick into the Kalista if you can manage to fight back a little bit, and the Thresh is a good pick into that. They're going to have to be careful when their release is on the top side of the map, though. Now, the reason the Tristana is such a good pick into the Kalista is because when you're trading, when you're doing these kind of like short to medium trades, the E from Tristana is going to do a lot better of a job from the Rend because you can stack it a lot quicker. You can get the damage out, and then you can just back off. Of course, when the all-in potential comes, rocket jumping onto the Kalista, she can't really dodge that one out with her passive jumping. There's not really much to dodge. So if they can get the lockdown from the Thresh, Kalista can be in a bit of trouble, but the Braum will be there to help support that, which is a big reason why that pick came through. Also to add a lot of follow-up engage to this Fireball team comp that they have. They can get a good team fight off. It can actually be quite scary. Unfortunately for them, the Spiders have a lot of options outside of team fighting to get this going for them. Especially if they can get that top lane going, that will be pretty crucial here. Opening up a lot of options on the map for themselves. Wako going to be caught out a bit here. Epic waiting in the wings just in case this goes a little bit south. Cuckoo as well showing up. Both teams kind of contesting this blue buff here. The Spiders are just going to patiently wait it out. They're hoping that Fireball get bored of trying to take this one. They're not going to get bored anytime soon. They're going to go aggressive in. They know Epic is a little bit behind right now. They're able to get this one for themselves. We'll see if the Spiders want to contest this one or not. Hook lands, but it's onto the Braum. Wako throwing in a bit of damage. They're seeing if they like what they see. The teleport comes in from Nexus, actually, to stand united to bring them in. Shockwave lands onto only one, but it does a lot of damage first. Blood going over to the Kalista. 1 for 0 so far for Fireball, and they seem happy with that. They're going to take the blue buff, they're going to take the first blood, and they're going to back off with a smile on their faces. Spiders getting a bit too antsy there. Yes, they had the advantage because Nexus decided to teleport in first, but the Stand United was available, and that can get you in even quicker than a teleport. And Nexus not tanky at all yet onto this Jarvan, so he was able to be blown up extremely fast. Nice shockwave coming out of Cuckoo, realizing that he can get the kill quickly. Good job by Fireball so far, pulling out to a little bit of a lead here, about 1,000 gold, 8 minutes into this one. Spider's gonna realize they'd done goofed a little bit. Still got a lot of options in this game, though. Epic struggling so far onto this Elise in the early game. He really wants to get these lanes going, especially the top lane, like I mentioned before. It's going to be pretty crucial. Flash is down, though, for Cuckoo, so maybe look for a gank heading to this mid side. She does have Cleanse Up, though. Always going to be a bit more difficult, as Epic wants to get revenge for the blue buff that was stolen away from him, looking to grab this one onto Wako. He's going to be rotating over there. He gets mid priority, so this is a pretty easy take for the side of the Spiders. Thresh as well, actually, roaming up, and they're actually doing the early lane swap, so they want to get out of this. Most likely, I want to guess they would want to get out of the bot lane matchup, but they could just be doing it for a tempo play as well as to secure that blue buff. They're going to catch Fireball off guard here a little bit. It will be the slow rotation up. The tower, fortunately for the side of Fireball, hasn't taken too much damage. They're going to switch up the lane priorities, but Fireball want to follow this one up, and they will indeed do so. So coming up here, they're looking to lie in wait. The Elise did do a good bit of damage to Skull there, but he's going to realize he doesn't have any chance for the kill, and Blast going over the wall. Good bit of pressure exerted, though, on the side of YE Spider. Ooh la la, gonna manage to easily avoid that hook. Something by accident, but you'll take it where you can get it. Well, in the mid lane here, farm is pretty even across the board, except for that top lane where Shen has pulled out to a bit of advantage. That might have been the lane matchup they were trying to avoid, actually. Especially when this Jarvan falls behind a bit. He can struggle, especially when Ninuo is building full armor onto that Shen. Jarvan already doesn't do a super scary amount of damage. He's more taken for the engage in the front line. He is the only front line for the side of Spiders, so they really want to get him going, actually. Because if he can't get going onto that Jarvan, they're going to be a bit limited on their engage. He is kind of the main ball delivery system. Woolala and Ninuo, that is, on the side of Fireball. So if they can get that in there and catch Spiders off guard, a good chance of winning these fights, like you saw before. One thing I like out of the Fireball comp is that they have so many ball delivery systems. Even the Braum with the Fate's Call can do wonders to catch the Spiders off guard. Pretty mobile team, though, on the side of YE Spider. They got the double 80 carriers who are both mobile, and of course, Elise and Jarvan are pretty slippery in their own rights, you could say. So the early lane swap does net the Spiders a little bit of damage onto that top tower, but not really paying off in any other sort of way. It's a big CS lead still on the side of Nino in that bottom lane, which ironically was the top lane. Cloud Dragon is the first to spawn. Of course, usually not going to be prioritized too highly from these teams unless they can get a free one. Epic working to get a little bit of deep vision here. Will spot out Woolala. They're going to see each other. Do a bit of damage. Clear out the ward. Do a little dance. Make a little love. Get down tonight. Ends on this Kalista. Doing well for himself so far. Picked up the 1 kill and keeping up very well in CS. It will be the lane swap again for the side of Spider. And that's a nice hook landing onto Woolala. He does not have flash anymore. Stand United comes down though. And that's going to be the cast. Ooh, the timing is just off there. I really like what he tried to do. Execution ran a little flat, but good job there by Fireball to turn the aggression around. Unfortunately, when you leave a Tristana alone in lane, this is what happens. And the zone comes out. Shen gets caught by the hook, flayed backwards. He has flash, and he's standing in that null auto attack zone. So he will be able to survive, but this tower might not be so lucky. This could be first blood tower going over the YE Spiders, thanks to a very aggressive play in the jungle. They're able to get vision control and cash out Woolala. And that is the main strength of this Spider team comp. They have so much pick potential that if they can get vision control, that's going to be crucial in their team comp's success. Nexus is going to try to hang around here for the experience. Be a bit careful. First blood tower already went over. Fireball at this point just looking for the trade. They do indeed get it, but as you can see, the first blood's traded over. First kill went over to Fireball. First tower went over to the Spiders, and the gold is going to be basically dead even here. 13 minutes into this one. Still anybody's game. Fireball with definitely more of a team fighting composition, you might say. Grouping up for these objectives is going to be their game. As on the side of the Spiders, you're going to look for them to try to take vision control and play Fireball around the map. Catch them out in these bad situations with all the tools they have available to them. The Thresh Hook, the Cataclysm, the Cocoon. It's endless pretty much. The amount of ways they have to catch them out. They have swapped back to the top side because this is where the objective they want to take is. So they're going to bring their powerful lane to the top. Breeze doing a good bit of damage to that tower already. He's going to rocket jump away just to be safe. And here comes the teleport flank, actually. They may look to go aggressive on this one. And there's no tower. K might just be straight up caught out. He has no flash. He is super, super dead. I'm going to try to give that one over to Ends, maybe on the Kalista. And Woolala says, no, I'm going to take that. Sorry, buddy. Grabs a kill for himself onto the Kalista. A kill is a kill is a kill, though. Good job there by Fireball, recognizing the overextension, not respecting the TP. He may have been caught off guard. Last time he used Stand United to get in the fight. They may have forgotten he has a TP as well. And there was no tower there, and they didn't really have anybody else in the area. It was just a dual lane. Not quite giving enough time for Nexus even to get in position to put pressure on that tower. So a bit of a misplay there from the Spiders is going to set them back a little bit. As you can see, the gold's still very even, though. That kill just going to basically pause the button on the pressure coming out from the Spiders. Breeze has returned here to this top lane, though, and that tower is pretty low. Ninuo has shown up, but he's got no teammates around, so he's probably just going to have to give that one up. And meanwhile, Fireball a little bit slow on gaining the pressure on the bot side. They were a bit preoccupied defending up here at the top. So I guess extended trade-wise, it was a kill for a tower, which is always going to be worth it for the Spiders. They have 2-1 now in that regard. Ninuo going to get pushed off here a little bit. Fireball just seems a little bit at a loss what to do. They're getting kited around the map beautifully by this double 80 carry team comp. This is exactly what the Spiders want to do. They don't want a team fight. They just want to play them around the map. Fireball just don't really seem to know how to respond to this at the moment. It's going to be the tier 2 in the top lane now getting pounded upon. 3 members strong. Cocoon lands, hook combo, box gets dropped, flays him backwards, and Ninuo goes down. All he can do is watch his tower fall, and then he gets caught up in the mess as well. That's another kill going over to the Spiders. I should say that's another kill. It's their first kill of the game, actually. You'd think they have more kills, but they're just playing the map so well. Bottom tower goes down as well. 4-1 all of a sudden in turrets. They pulled themselves out of nowhere to a 3,000 gold lead, playing their team comp beautifully. Fireball have to find a way to start to get grouped, and to do that, they have to get proper vision control and actually stop these 80 carries from just pushing down all the towers. Work as a unit here on the side of Fireball. Dragon might be something they can work with at least. They're a little bit far behind on gold now, and the Trinity Force power spike onto Corki, so they may have waited almost a bit too long, you might say. Still a chance, though, for the side of Fireball. Wacko going to be doing a wacky amount of damage already. They might look to go for aggressive play here. Skull might look to get hooked. He does. Unbreakable's up, but he's going to get flayed back into the team. Woolala looking on the re-engage. Stand United's coming down, trying to keep him alive. Nexus trying to come in here and dissuade Fireball from going aggressive, and it will work. That's the disengage coming. That is not a good sign if you're Fireball, because they were grouped up there, and they still weren't able to get the fight they wanted. Good job kiting back there by the Spiders. And now they've cut off a little bit the Fireball's retreat back to the tower, and they're going to put a little bit of damage on it. Got to be a tad careful. Shockwave is still available. Most of all the other ults, though, not. So it's going to be a bit hard for Fireball to actually get into these fights. And it might just be a free Cloud Drake going over to the side of the Spiders. Like I said, they usually just take it when they got nothing better to do, and the opportunity presents itself. Breeze is going to shuffle on down here to the bot lane, pick up that big wave of minions. And I believe that was the Rift Herald summon? Defensively, I'm probably pretty sure it was about to run out of time. And that's the problem with Rift Herald. If you're behind, it's similar to Mountain Drake. You actually usually aren't in positions to use it to take towers. So what ends up happening is it just uses some sort of stall tactic. It usually just gets and ends up getting killed pretty easily. Unfortunately for them, they are trying to get some vision control of this next area, which they think the rest of the game will be played around. Of course, Baron's going to be the next major objective. And that mid lane tower is still up, so I like this play from Fireball, getting vision control of this top side. And they're going to need it. We're looking to catch a pick onto Nexus. Not going to happen. He flashes away. Good job burning the summoner, but they're going to need to get more off it than just that. As Fireball actually do have a pretty good Baron take team. They got the Callista with Blade of the Rune King, and the Orion is going to be offering a decent amount of damage as well. Always the double 80 carry side, though, with a slight advantage as well as the Elise. So if Fireball lose vision control of the Baron area for too long, there is actually a possibility that Spiders can just grab it up. Of course, Spiders don't want to... I say they don't want to get into a teamfight situation, but they're actually pretty far ahead at this point, so they may just take that chance, depending on how impatient they get. Nice hook lands onto Ninuo. That's actually the box getting dropped. Ignite goes down as well. They're trying to fish for the kill here. Cocoon actually ends up landing the fadeaway there. They don't actually follow up. Now Wacko in a hell of a lot of trouble. He gets exhausted, but Lantern out. The TP going to be canceled. He sees nothing but enemies around him, so he's going to go ahead and call that one off. Again, Spider's just doing a good job of not getting baited into these fights. They're just pulling off nicely. They're running Fireball around the map. And as you can see, that vision on the top side right now, yes, it's good to get, but if you can't actually pressure any lanes and you're just getting pushed in everywhere, you're never going to be able to use it. Unfortunately for them, K may be looking for a bit of a play here onto Woolala. The hook will not land. Almost gets the prediction off, but flash burned onto the jungler. It's going to be good news if you're a Spider fan. Who is a Spider fan? They're gross, let's be honest. But the YE Spider are definitely not gross. Especially this game. They're playing this team comp out very well so far. You don't necessarily need kills with this team. You just need to start knocking down those objectives. And that is what they are looking to do. Blue buff will be picked up here by Cuckoo. He is Cuckoo for blue buffs, and he is going to be happy to pick that one up. It's going to help a little bit keeping these waves pushed out as much as possible. Fortunately, they're under a lot of pressure here. And the tower take potential from the red side is something to be feared for sure. This K positioning somewhat aggressively here, and that's a Valkyrie 4 from Wako actually, looking to put a bit of damage down. The Braum ult goes about a country mile wide. I'm not sure what the plan was there. He was hoping to maybe Wako was going to walk forward a bit more. The Unbreakable was enough to dissuade them. Braum ult just for show. So now you can see Spiders not really interested in the Baron at all at this point. They're probably not going to look to play around it. Breeze getting caught out a little bit. Fate's Call looking to knock him up. Cask knocks him back, and the stun will land here. Will they be able to pick up the kill, though? He's dropping so low, gets the Lantern to save his life, and he is going to get away. Easy, breezy, beautiful escape from the side of the Spiders there. Breeze pushing a bit too far forward without the proper vision or backup from his team. As I was just going to mention, the Spiders don't seem interested in Baron. What I think they're planning to do here, and what I think they probably should do, is just get vision control of this red buff area and then rotate between the bot and the mid tower and look to catch Fireball out on a bad rotation and just knock these towers down one by one. But once you get enough of a lead, then you can maybe look to go on the Baron. But sometimes there's no point in even humoring the idea of a team fight against the comp like Fireballs, unless you're insanely far ahead. It's really Fireball's only win condition at this point, is just to get a straight up 5v5 fight. You can see CS leads across the board for the side of the Spiders, as well as 4-1 in towers is going to be a big reason for that gold lead. Hook lands onto Woolala, but it's just a lonely Thresh. He's got no damage to back him up. That's just a bluff hook. They have reformed here in the bot lane, though. Breeze has recalled down a few summoner spells, but he has his team to back him up now. And Corki pressuring very heavily in that mid lane. This coordination is very much what I like to see. You push in one lane, you force them away from the other lane, you back off, you push in the other lane, and then you look for picks in between. It's beautiful to see. They already picked up that top tier 2 tower, so this Jarvan's just going to be trying to keep the Shen busy, make sure he doesn't get a cheeky Stand United off. Get a good bit of trading, though, from Ninuo. Gonna have to be careful. That's basically all armor so far. A little bit of magic is just picked up. Gonna be looking to prevent some of that Elise damage. Maybe even would have liked to see Ninuo go straight into the... Actually, the Corki provides a decent amount of magic damage. It's not too bad. Nexus, though, might be caught out a little bit here. He does have Flash and the Blast Cone available to him, so he's gonna get away. He's gonna have to be careful a little bit, though. Woolala hanging around, trying to take advantage of the fact that Spiders had backed off from the bot for now, but they are returning here with a passion. Kay going to be looking to control this vision. Wako, I should say, with the package. So he's going to feel very safe here pushing forward. He's going to take a little bit of damage, but this should be the mid tower going down now, and this is exactly what you want to see from the Spiders comp. I like this. Pushing aggressively, taking the vision control, knocking down the towers, playing Fireball around the map. So far going very well. 5-1 in towers. Fireball are going to have to find a way to engage onto these fights and get a pick. Epic is going to be hanging around here. Wako just raining down rockets from the side. If they can get enough damage on the poke, you actually might see an engage from the side of the Spiders. And here it is actually. Hook lands. Breeze looking to reposition himself. They're just going to cautiously engage. They don't want to go too far in and get counter-engaged by Fireball. This bot tower will be the next target. Baron is available here, though. So we'll see eventually if they wanted to go back on that one. They may look just to take all the outer towers and do so. Stun is going to land, and that's a hook. A lot of damage, actually. Stand United Force, and they're going to back off. They're just toying with Fireball right now beautifully. Not over-engaging on anything here. Just slowly knocking down the objectives. Baiting out the globals. And now Shen is going to have to sadly walk all the way back to the top side. Loses a few minions onto the tower. There might be a bit of a pick here. Woolala going so low. Here's the re-engage from the Braum ult. And that's a nice assassination from the AD carry. Skull looking to go down as well. It's actually going to be the trade kill onto Ends. He does land it. The Fate's Call to avoid the damage from the explosive shot. Cute little play. I don't know if it would have been enough to kill him, but either way, he's going to make sure it wasn't. That's going to be 1-for-1. Junglers getting sacrificed to the enemy teams. Still huge advantage to the side of the Spiders, though. They're able to pick up another tower in the mid lane. Bot one's down. Only base towers remaining here for Fireball, and this is where you might see the side of the Spiders take control of this Baron area. They may not even look to take it unless they see a very wide open opportunity. What they may look to do actually is just to get these picks off. When Fireball are forced into a horrible face-checking situation, it's going to be a solo dragon here for Breeze. He is so far ahead right now on this Tristana. Got that double crit item completed already. I almost wouldn't be surprised if he just straight up picks up the rapid fire cannon on this back here. He's going to be pretty close to it at least. And he actually does, yeah. So that's the Energizer build completed here. And he's looking to grab that QSS for himself as well, I believe. So he is feeling very good on this Tristana. Trinity Force, Rapid Fire, Power Spike on the Corki as well. They're going to be doing absolutely ridiculous amounts of damage. As long as they can peel back and kite in these fights, they will be just fine. So it's going to be the call for the rotation. They're switching their strong sides of the map. Going to send that Jarvan to the bot side to put on a little bit of pressure. DP is not quite up yet for Nexus, so they got to be a little bit careful. They don't go too far in. That's actually the aggressive call into the bot lane. Here comes Corki. They're looking to pick up the kill. The Cataclysm goes down. Flash forward from Ninuo. He realizes he's in a lot of trouble. Flash from Nexus as well to slow him down. Doesn't quite land it, though. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Enz almost gets caught out. He's going to call in the Fate's Call onto Skull. Maybe looking for the re-engage, but they're taking a lot of damage so far already. Unbreakable dropped. Trying to buy himself some time. Ooh, that Static Shiv is doing a bit of damage. That's a rocket jump forward, actually. He wants the kill. He's not going to get it. Might get it turned around. Stun lands, Cask back into the tower. Breeze gives up a bit of a bad kill there. And that's going to slow the aggression for sure from the side of the Spiders. They're going to have to completely back off. And after playing it so well, he gets a bit greedy. The bloodthirstiness was in his eyes. They're going to pay for that one. There might be even a Baron start here for the side of Fireball. An opportunity like this might not come too often. Stand United is available on Ninuo. And they do have a pretty good Baron comp, like I said, with the Callista. They may just look to secure this one while the opportunity presents itself. Spiders are definitely going to look to contest this one, though. They do not have the Tristana, but they do have the Corki, which will be offering a very healthy amount of damage. Nexus already here grouped up. Teleport will be burned from the Shen to get into this fight. They got a lot of stacks. Spiders are going to have to go in now if they want to contest this one. Skull dropping pretty low. The Rend is going to be absolutely massive. He does go down. First kill over to Spiders in this fight. They just want the Baron, though, and they do get it. But will they get away with their lives? Epic dropping pretty low. Onto that. At least she will go down, taunted up. And now that's a kill over to the side of Fireball. They're looking for more on the top side. A bit of a duel. Cuckoo flashes away to avoid the damage, and he gets the outplay. Callista with a little bit of the assistance. Wacko now trying to turn it around. Breeze has showed up, and he is dropping bombs. Quite literally gets the reset, doesn't quite make it over the wall, but Ninuo is sure to go down eventually here. He has the Baron empowered recall, and it's just complete disengage from the side of Fireball. They were able to pick up the Baron, though. That is going to be another kill. Donated over to Breeze, I'm sure, waiting out that auto attack null zone. And that is a few kills to the side of Spiders. Fireball are able to pick up a Baron, so they will be able to delay this a while, and that's definitely what they want. They're going to need to find some more opportunities to get in on these fights. As we take a look at this replay, you can see the Baron dropping to about half now. There's a lot of stacks into it. And a nice catch onto Skull is going to mean he's going to take a decent amount of damage. Bramall not doing much there. You would have liked to see that utilized a little bit nicer, I should say. The Baron buff is secured, but at this point they've already taken so much damage and used so many cooldowns that they can't really realistically win this fight. They are able to pick up the kill onto Epic, but from that point on, you can start to see the Spider's damage coming through. Wacko able to turn this around, and as soon as Breeze shows up, Fireball realize how much trouble they're actually in. Ends doing his best body block for his team. Not quite going to work as we return to live. Next dragon is going to be the Ocean, which will help a little bit. More so the side of Fireball, who have the more tankier lineup, going to benefit more from the health regeneration, of course. And now that they have the Baron buff, they're finally able to do a little bit of grouping up here. First target is the mid lane. Willala looking to shake his big belly and scare the Spiders off this one. They do still have a very respectable amount of damage, though. Fireball going to have to be careful. They do have the team fighting comp. They're also about 6k gold behind. So wary times for the side of Fireball. They got a cautious objective Baron control there, but they're going to have to play it safe. Spiders looking to regroup after giving up that big objective. Breeze definitely feel a bit sheepish after giving up that kill in the mid lane there. Maybe going to be a bit less trigger happy on the jump. As Spiders most likely just going to be look to wait this Baron buff out if they can. And look to return to their sieging ways. Still huge advantage over the side of the Spiders. That Baron buff is only going to be able to buy them a little bit of time, unfortunately. If they're able to find a good catch like they did last time, unfortunately for Fireblood, they put themselves into a situation... Fireball, I should say. They put themselves in a situation where they have to kind of rely on the Spiders to make a mistake. Now, Fireball do need to be able to capitalize on that mistake, but when you put yourself into a situation like that, it's always a bit of a rough go. Spiders so far doing pretty well to play around their win condition, except for that one misplay there in the mid lane. Baron buff here going to be regrouped in the mid lane, 3 men strong. They got that Orianna holding off Wako, but Wako has the TP advantage, so they got to be a bit careful they don't get flanked here, actually. Going to be cautiously just trying to hold the Spiders off for now, as long as they can. Baron buff will be running out relatively soon, though. You can see still 6-1 in towers. You can really see what the Spiders are trying to do with this team composition, and they've done it well so far. Fireball going to need to find a bit of a miracle team fight. Ocean Drake is spawning in 10 seconds. Spiders might just look to turn and take that one for free, or possibly get a pick here. And just got to be a bit careful he doesn't step too far forward. That's the Blast Cone taken over into about 3 members. The hook does not quite land. Nice flash to avoid it. Cocoon does, but it was a bit of a fadeaway. They weren't looking to engage onto that one. Just giving Ulala a bit of a scare. And here comes the second one, actually. That's actually the Cataclysm. Stand United drop. Shockwave is going to land onto Epic. He gets bursted down. Breeze was able to avoid it, though. They still got the damage dealers up. Can they turn it around? That is the disengage coming from the Spiders. They realize this is going downhill. Nice Braum out. Going to buy them time onto Nexus. Trying to find that kill. Stun does not quite land. Spiders kiting back here nicely. The taunt lands, though, onto Wako. He's going to get absolutely eliminated. And Fireball finding the fight that they need. 8-5 now, turning this one around a bit. They will be able to target the mid lane tower off the back of this one. All of a sudden, Fireball's team comp coming to life. A few misplays from the Spiders. They were doing so well before, but they keep going a little bit too deep on these engages and giving Fireball a chance to get back into this game. That is now 6-1-1 onto ends. The Callista definitely doing a very large amount of damage. He's got the 2 crit items that Callista wants to build and the Blade of Ruin King done already, of course. He's still very far behind the Tristana, but he's doing quite enough right now. Might look to catch Fireball on the disengage here. They're most likely going to be able to get out of this one. No flash on the Nexus, which is their kind of main engage tool from a distance at least. As we take a look at this replay, they think they get a catch onto Wu a lot, but they're not remembering the Stand United and how tanky this Gragas actually can be. To get what I would have liked to see from the Spiders is to maybe get a bit of damage on, but kite back. Nexus has to use this ult a little bit more intelligently. Nice ult from Cuckoo to absolutely explode Epic in these fights. He's more of a CC bot at this point. Does offer a little bit of damage, but now it's just a numbers game, and they are able to actually isolate the members of the Spiders very well. Wako stepping a bit too far forward, trying to output as much damage as possible, gets hit by the taunt, absolutely obliterated, dies with his flash up, which is a bit unfortunate. But mistakes are bound to make. One thing about the Spiders team comp, it can work very well, but it is pretty hard to pull off. You gotta have really good team coordination and really good comms. As you can see, the Spiders were not quite on the same page in that last engage. A little bit spread out, a little bit unfortunately for them. 3 dragons still, though, over to the side of the Spiders. They got the major objective control. Baron will be spawning in another 40 seconds. Spiders gave up the last one. I'm sure they're not going to want to give up this one as well, hoping to take complete vision control of this area. Maybe get a catch onto Wulala. Unbreakable's going to go down, try to prevent the damage. And I've seen this movie before. Spiders doing a good job in disengaging, though. They realize they do not want the straight-up team fight. You can see Ninua was ready and waiting with that Stand United. Spiders trying to find their way back into the groove. They got to start getting these pressure onto the lanes and pull Fireball around the map. Is a bit harder, though, when you give up a little bit of a lead, and blue side is able to walk in a bit more aggressively now. Gotten pretty tanky onto their front line. Unfortunately, they do have a much better front line if you're a Spider fan. They're going to be spotted out there. They're looking to take back vision control of this area so that they don't get pressured. Hook lands onto the Braum. Actually going to flay him over the wall. Flash force from Skull. He gets Fate's called as well. Nice catch. It's going to force Fireball out of this area for now. And this might be Spider's opportunity to maybe make a bit of a Baron play. I know they don't want to force a fight, but if they can get an odd mad one. There's the Shockwave actually is going to catch Breeze there on the Tristana. Not quite enough damage to take him out. Redemption's going to come down, get him a bit healthier. So a little bit of a close call there. Nothing really big happening. He didn't have any summoners to burn anyways. And it will be the Baron startup actually looking to catch Fireball off guard. I believe it was spotted out. Ping's going down. Here comes the TP out of Ninuo. And the Baron just gets absolutely obliterated. They push them off and take it. They realize how much damage their carriers are doing. And thanks to the vision control they're able to take, Fireball was forced to back off and give up that Baron buff. And that is going to do wonders for Spiders to be able to run Fireball around the map like they want to here. Look for them to recall and start to really pressure them. May even go to the 1-3-1 setup. See if they want to do that. Both TPs are up. Wacko has the package. So he'll be feeling pretty good. Looks like he'll be hitting up this bot lane. Next Dragon is the Elder, so they may look to prioritize this bottom side a bit more than the top side. Wacko's going to be patient here. He doesn't want to get caught out. Does not quite have vision control of that red side area yet. Probably going to look to group up and get that in just a moment. It will be Nexus on the top side here taking control. You're looking to spread this Baron buff to as many lanes as possible. Ninuo will be the response on the bot side for now. Spiders here. Looking to maybe try to get a bit of a catch out. Fireball not quite going to bite here. So they will just decide to go ahead and push this one. It will be the 1-3-1 coming out of the side of the Spiders. Like I said, hard to pull off, but made a hell of a lot easier when you have that Baron buff. They just can't get engaged on before they're able to build up enough pressure. And as you can see, Fireball looking to do just that, catch them off guard. Spider's going to slowly move in here. Body slam lands onto the Thresh. Knockback not quite going to land. That is unfortunate. Breeze now able to step forward a little bit. As you can see, as soon as Fireball go in for that little mini engage, the two solo laners absolutely go to town on these towers. That bottom one is most likely going to drop. I don't know if Nino is able to do enough. He is not. So first base tower going down. Here's the Elise with the reinforcements going to almost secure the inhibitor as well. Fireball moving over here last minute to save it. That's going to lose some pressure on the mid and top side. This is exactly what you want to see out of the Spiders team comp right now. So they're able to knock down the top tower as well. Jarvan tanky enough to withstand the damage from the Shen, who has gone completely all tank at this point. Only now just being able to get the time at. Mid tower is going to fall. That is all three base towers down now. Second inhibitor of the game being threatened. It will go down. Flash forward here from Woolala. Here's the Shen. They're trying to get the engage, but it is a beautiful job by the Spiders disengaging nicely. No chance for Fireball to get in on this one. One inhibitor remaining. They're going to look to rotate here to the top side. As long as they kite back in these fights, I don't see an actual way that they lose them. En's doing a admirable job here, trying to play aggressively and force out some sort of fight. It's not going to work, though. I think at this point, Spiders have learned not to engage at all. And they should be just fine. They're knocking down all the objectives. Taunts lands onto Nexus. It's actually Breeze who takes the Lantern out, and he might have cost his top laner's life actually here. He's going to pop the Catalyst and buy some time. He's so tanky on that Jarvan. That's a jump in from Breeze, looking for the damage on the outside of the fight. Heal gets popped by Enz, trying to keep himself alive. Flash hook lands onto the Braum. They're going to lock him up. That's the first kill of the fight, and now Spiders have done enough damage. They feel comfortable going all in. Base is absolutely in shatters. Shockwave is going to land, but it's just not enough at this point. Epic doing some good job zoning. First Nexus tower will fall, along with the second shortly after, and the Nexus is not going to be long for this world as well. Spiders playing the split push composition to perfection. A few missteps here and there were giving Fireball a little bit of a chance to get back in the game with that Baron. Scary moments, but in total, a very clean game played by them. And they just played out their team composition better, and that's what you want to see from the top higher ranked team, I should say. GG, well played to them, as it's going to make for a very interesting game too. We'll see what changes Fireball have to their composition. Maybe they want to run a split push of their own, or maybe they want to draft some more winning lanes so they can get the team fighting going early. Either way, we'll see in just a moment as we head into game 2.